Hey, welcome back in everybody. Today we're going to turn this stump to this. Okay, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to turn this stump into a rocket stump. And what a rocket stump is you bore out a hole in the center of the stump, give it some air inlets on the side, and you can burn it from the inside out. Now that is one way to get rid of stumps. I'm more of doing this just to have some fun, to try it out. And I don't expect to get rid of this stump over the next few months. But we're going to have some fun with it while we can. And I might just use this as a fire pit. Who knows? Let's get started. All right, before we get started, so the center part, it's not obviously level from when they took the tree down. So this is going to be the trickiest part of the whole thing. So what I'm going to try to do is I don't want to go too wide and have a giant circle in the center. Kind of want to start somewhat small. That way it can burn out over time and you get a better rocket effect through the center that way. And eventually it'll just turn into a big hole. But keep that in mind as you start to watch this. Obviously this is not level, not the same height all the way around. So we'll just have to work around that to start with. Okay, what we have so far is I've cut around the four sides of this piece right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pry bar and try to wiggle it out. I'm sure that I will have to start making a couple more cuts because those were not the best cuts ever, but the goal is just to get some of the center out. That way, before I move over to the sides, that part is taken care of. Just as I figured, I'm gonna have to do some more cutting. Probably just gonna have to kind of chip it out. If I can get the blade to not run on me like it has been doing, because this isn't a safety blade. on that chainsaw. But if I can just start kind of chipping this away, maybe we can get that centerpiece out. Good Lord. All right, I think what I might do is go ahead and start doing my plunge cuts from the sides. That way, maybe, if the bar's long enough, I can get in there and kind of cut these bottom pieces out. I'm keeping a lot of this sawdust as potential fire starter, because this is going to be a wet wood, so getting this stuff lit is going to be very difficult. just like everything else on this tree, I knew this was going to be pretty difficult to do. And as you saw, I was able to get some shavings to come out of this little crack right here. That was because that was where my blade was able to reach. Now, over time, this will get bigger, and of course, that will reach out there to that. I didn't have any success on this side when I originally went in right here. The biggest reason why is the saw actually hit out here. I was really hoping that I would be able to reach it from here, but it doesn't look like I was able to at this juncture. The hole gets bigger, then I have another air socket there. I may be able to try to come in from here, but it looks like it's probably going to be too far. I can double check real quick. It will be right on the money if I can make it that far. So it's probably worth trying it. Probably come in, make a slot right here, somewhere in there. And it'll be about that much into the hole. The next step, just to try to see if we can get it lit, I am going to pour some gas down in there since this is a wet trunk. There's also a lizard living down in here, so he may want to make his way out pretty quick. But I've got 2 air inlets on each side. Hopefully that's enough to get some flow from the outside. That way it can come up through the middle. This may take a bit to get lit, so we're going to give it a try. All right, I've got a little bit of gasoline poured down into the hole right here. I'm going to take some of these loose shavings, just try to lightly sprinkle those down in there. Now I went ahead and grabbed the lighter because the matchbox that I'm gonna drop a match down in there. I'm not sticking my hand in there. The matchbox itself is pretty well wore out, so let's see if we can get these lit. Come on now. All right, here it goes. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you could hear it, but this back side over here had a concussion come out the back side of it. Not much, but it's going to take it a minute to dry out and burn a little bit, but not a bad little start. All right, we can see that it's still going. A couple things that I've noticed in probably the, I don't know, half hour that this has been going is, since the hole is relatively small down in there, I'm gonna have to constantly keep cleaning it out as I restart it. I don't think that's gonna be a big deal, but what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to throw some bigger logs on there, because what I'm wanting to do is create a bit of a bigger fire in here. That way those pieces that I was not able to get out with the chainsaw, maybe that they get so hot that they'll just kind of just start disintegrating, kind of like embers and ash and stuff like that. And then that will open up the hole a little bit more and I can get it cleaned out. But so far this is working pretty good. I mean, the air inlets on both sides, they're providing some air, probably not as much as I was really hoping, but so far so good. All right, we're gonna let this keep burning for a little bit. We'll check back in later. All right, so this project's actually been kind of neat. As you can see right here, flames are going pretty good. Only a few things that I could really recommend that I would do different is just kind of control the chainsaw a little bit better, but that's just kind of tough with that big of a saw doing that many plunge cuts. And something else is probably having a different type of blower, like a small electric blower would probably be more ideal. But so far the compressor and the little spray nozzles worked out awesome. It helped clear out some of the air vents on each side. And as this gets bigger, the third air vent that I did cut into there should start working. So that's gonna be awesome too. But it's gonna be fun using this as my fire pit all fall. And I highly recommend anybody trying this. If you have a stump that you need to get rid of or just wanna have some fun like I'm doing, drill a hole in it, cut some holes in the side, light it on fire. You'll have a good time. See you next time.